If you ever imagine that in the 21st century another epidemic would appear that would neutralize the whole world and not only the people but also the way of generating income? After all, the economy here in Mexico has always been one of the most controversial issues to talk about. Since I was little, I remember that my mom has always had small businesses, but because she likes it. And I think I'm like her because I really love and I really like to earn my own money by myself. But there are people that make these businesses because they are out of necessity. I remember that whenever I came back from school, we only came to our house to eat. And when we finished, I was only able to take my things to make my homework, and we spent all afternoon there. But there were days that the school boss leave me there in the place where her small business was, and I needed to eat there with her. It was not the most fun in the world, but I like to accompany her. From time to time, my dad was also with us. I tell you this because the economy here in Mexico has always been a controversial topic to talk about. But today I'm not going to saturate you with boring information or with graphics that I don't even understand. But I will tell one or two important data that will help me to explain you this. For example, before COVID-19 entered to Mexico, the economy was already really weak. This means that it didn't show the results decided by the government. So when everything about staying at home began, a lot of people were left without work and closed their businesses and stopped producing. And with this, we already imagine that it will cost us a lot to return to how we were. But with this, they began new ways to generate income from home and only go out for the necessary. And this is what we are going to talk today. Like at the end of March, when we were already in quarantine, there was like a week that we didn't have classes because they were organizing all the stuff to take the rest of the semester online. So I didn't have anything interesting to do. So I started to make thread bracelets, and I like them so much that I decided to open an Instagram to publicize my work. And more than anything, I like to earn my own money by myself, and I make it for that because it was something that I enjoyed to do. So yes, I made several sales, and each time I made a delivery, I learned new things. But what I want to get is that in my point of view when I started this, I realized that I was not the only one. Yes, there were a lot of Instagrams publicizing different businesses, but they increased a lot when the pandemic began. But what has made everyone want to open an account in a social network to do their own business? Well, let me tell you. Let me put you in context. App Annie is a company that offers a mobile performance suite that provides ad market like Amazon and that stuff. So they have experience in this. In a report that I found in the web, it highlights the following. The opportunity of this situation represents for companies with fewer advertisers in the market but more people connected to the apps. This can be a good time to boost brands' awareness and reach people for information and products online. As it is specified now, we all spend a lot of time of our day in social networks, so this is the opportunity of the companies or of the small companies that are starting to publicize their products or their services that they have. I share you this graphic. These are the statistics from around the world according to the company App Annie that I mentioned it before of the application downloads per store. It's like App Store from iOS and Play Store from Android. So these are until March of 2020, and they are not only games. So imagine that this is from March when everything just started. So now, how does that numbers will have increased? What I want to get is that thanks to the pandemic, many people who already have their small businesses, but they didn't have any influence in social networks, begin to use them because now it's the only way that we have for communication and also for the marketing of different products or services. So let me tell you, I start searching about the most repetitive business that is around the app of Instagram, and what I see the most, or what it appeared me the most, are bazaars. And I think you can get good things at excellent prices, and this supporting themselves and also the people who consume, because I think right now we are not much to spend so much. So this is closely related to what we will talk about next. So since I was little, I remember that I liked a lot the issue of earning my own money, as I told you before, and asking my parents for it. So I remember that there was like an occasion that the rubber bracelets were fashionable. So my mother bought me all the kit, the complete kit, and it occurred me to go to the school with my kids, and I know, sorry, and I was practically selling my bracelets. But well, now, as I mentioned it earlier, I did a business of thread bracelets, but I have not been active a lot for a long time. But like everyone in this pandemic, I got bored. And one day it occurred me to clean my closet. And I took many clothes that I didn't know that they were there. And they were practically new. So I choose to open a new Instagram about a bazaar, like I told you before, because I don't know what I wanna do to that clothes, and it's better to give them a second use and give them to the persons that they are going to use them. And that Instagram, I'm really active until now. Uh, I'm going to insert you a photo of my deliveries and all that stuff. And I didn't know that to the people they were really interested in that idea. But have you thought about everything that has to be done to start a business through social networks? Let me explain you what I investigated, what I learned, and what I experienced and lived. So, well, as I tell you, what I investigated and what I have lived, starting a business through social networks is not easy. Because to start, you have to think about a project that you know will attract the attention of the consumers. It needs to be a high quality product. Another important point is that you need to stay constant. But I think in this time of contingency, this point, it's not really difficult because we are all in home waiting to see something new in the social networks. But not all the small businesses that were open due to the pandemic have access to this information of how to launch their online sales through social networks. But not only that, if they start growing, as I told you before, they need to give a high quality product to the customer so they don't look bad. This to have several people that recommend you and you keep growing. This is why these platforms or social networks are used to reactivate the economy and meet the needs about the consumers and the producers. Maybe this topic is about only Instagram, but there are other apps of social networks that have options to create like a business account for a company to making the process easier. They also took a lot of resources for the little businesses to supporting them in this situation of COVID-19. So, well, in my opinion, COVID-19 has affected many people both economically and emotionally, and I think social networks are our temporary solution to reactivate everything and return to the normal. Well, the economy here in Mexico has always been a really sensitive issue, and before the pandemic happened in Mexico, I think we were not in a really good situation talking about the economy. Finally, I think that we never imagined that we will experience this and that it would affect a lot of things. But after this, do you think it will be easy to return to how we were or also to reactivate the economy and increase it? I believe that working together as a team, we will achieve it. Thank you.